Hello everyone, welcome to my faith journey. And today we have a very unique person. He is Dan Dagler, a very enthusiastic and active person in our parish community. And he's also one of the important person in Kursula movement in this region. So I'm very happy to invite Dan Dagler for my faith journey. Dan, are you a cradle Catholic or a convert? Tell me a little bit about your youth.
I'm a cradle Catholic. I was born in Buffalo and baptized 2 weeks after I was born. My parents were both Catholic. I was actually raised in a small town outside of Buffalo called Olcott. I'm the oldest of 9 brothers and sisters, so I have 4 brothers and 4 sisters just to keep the act balanced. Grew up in a town that was basically split in half, so half of them were Methodists, the other half of us were Catholics, but we crossed over and attended each other's functions all the time. I was an altar server from about the time I was 9 until actually after I left college. We went to public school. The Catholic school was 12 miles away, and it was just too expensive for the family size that we had. After high school, I went away to an engineering school up in northern New York State, and basically eventually wound my way to where I am now.
Great. What caused you to want to become a Eucharistic minister, and what path did that take you on?
In 1985, they closed St. John Birchman's down here in West Somerset, and most of us went up to Our Lady of the Valley in Townsend. Father Grace was our pastor at the time, and he decided he needed to have Eucharistic ministers at Mass in order to distribute communion, so he asked for volunteers. Why I volunteered, I'm not quite sure, but I did, and 2 other members of the church did, and that originally started me on my walk to being a Eucharistic minister. After a number of years, I was introduced to Barbara Murphy from Our Lady of Mercy, and her ministry was to visit sick and shut-ins and take Eucharistic minister to them. And I think she was aided in part because she was a nurse. But she had talked to us Eucharistic ministers up in Our Lady of the Valley and told us about her ministry and tried to encourage us to think about it, and so I went into a period of thinking about it. It wasn't until Deacon Anderberg had a very large ministry up at Valley Cares where he asked me to help. And so that got me started to taking the Eucharist to various people that I knew up at Valley Cares, and then Father asked me to take the Eucharist to some neighbors who were shut-ins, which is pretty much where my ministry has developed to this day. I still do it in church on Sundays, but I also take it to some neighbors who are sick.
Great. You have been very active with the Kursula movement. How did you find about it? How has it helped you? How do you think it can help others?
I was first introduced to it by Father Fred McLaughlin. I had been working and was many hours at work and was starting to go into burnout, and went in one Sunday and said a prayer to Jesus, and basically, you got to help me out because I don't know where I'm going. about 15 seconds later, Father McLaughlin comes over and asks me, "How would you like to make a Cursillo?" And my response was kind of like, "Yeah, right, what's that?" And he introduced it to me as like a retreat, but better. So eventually, about 6 months later, I got to go and attend a Cursillo weekend. And then my sponsor made sure I went and visited an Altrea after, which is a once a month meeting. After that, Father Fred, who also attended the Altreas, suggested that we form small groups, which is part of Cursillo. And so I and Deacon Anderberg and his wife Daisy and his niece Linda formed a small group, and we would meet every week to supplement and support each other in our faith journey. What it has done for me, it has helped me be more cognizant of Christ and God in my life. It has helped me on my spiritual journey through increasing my prayer life, through seeking out spiritual direction. And it's made me a much calmer person. As far as what I think it can do for other people, I think it can do the same things it did for me. And I think that's a good thing. I found a lot of peace and a lot of joy in the movement, and think that it would help anybody do that.
Has the pandemic and the isolation given you any insight?
A number, actually. I found out that I greatly miss the community of the church Sundays. I miss my spiritual community of the small group that I find in Cursillo, and I miss an awful lot of the contact with other people. And Cursillo helped me do that, to recognize that that was a part of my life that I had been neglecting as an engineer. I was always more comfortable with computers than I was with people. It's also taught me a lot about, and has given me time for internal reflection and prayer, and trying to do daily prayer, which I'm still very bad at. But it has given me time also to go to daily Mass, which I would encourage anybody to do if they can do it. And it has helped me pray.
Great. Then a personal question. Out of these many years of experience and living in faith, what do you suggest to a faith community to keep their faith alive in the society?
Before you do anything, pray. And then consider your actions going forward, what you're going to do to bring Christ to others. And when you get done, pray again. I think that's a very good advice. That is, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Probably scare the heck out of you the first couple of times you try it. But it gets easier as you become open to sharing and supporting other people. Look around for instances of how can I bring the faith that I experience on Sundays to the rest of my week and to other people, and pray.
Thank you, Dan, for your wonderful sharing and for joining for this episode of My Faith Journey. And I love to journey together with you in my faith as well.
You're very welcome, and thank you.